Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Iggy, and I've been covering topics like stocks, finance, CPF, and everything related to growing your wealth right here in Singapore. The Investing Iguana is ranked 8th in the 2024 Influential Tigers by Tiger Brokers. We just crossed the 1 million mark for number of reads and 58,000 likes. I've produced over 1,000 videos with more than 600,000 watch hours as of August 2025. I also focus on regional and global economic trends. If you're serious about taking your Singaporean investment journey to the next level, you'll want to hear this. Let's tackle a big question many Singaporeans ask. Should I top up CPF, buy T-bills, or build a REIT portfolio for income? In 2025, the field shifted. SA, MA, and RA pay 4.0% in Q3 2025. OA pays 2.5%. Extra interest still applies. Under 55, plus 1% on the first 60,000 combined. Age 55 and above, plus 2% on the first 30,000 and 1% on the next $30,000. 6-month T-bill yields dipped, with recent cutoffs near 1.77% in late July and around 1.69% in early August. 1-year T-bill sits near 1.68%. The 10-year SGS is about 1.96%. Meanwhile, S-REITs on average yield in the mid to high 5% range, with some names at 7 to 9%. Today I've distilled the answer into 7 crucial points that will change how you plan income and growth in Singapore. Here's what we'll cover. 1. CPF as your risk-free anchor. 2. Why time horizon decides most of your mix. 3. Opportunity cost by life stage. 4. The true role of T-bills in 2025. 5. How to build a durable REIT income sleeve. 6. The post-55 decision map after RA formation. 7. A clear action plan by risk profile and age. Point 1. CPF is your risk-free anchor. Think of CPF like your HDB foundation. Solid, steady, and built to last. SA, MA, and RA pay 4.0% today. OA pays 2.5%. Extra interest gives a further boost on the first tranches. For money you cannot afford to lose, CPF is hard to beat. The compounding is quiet, but powerful. Ask yourself, which part of my future expenses must be 100% secure? That base is CPF territory. Cover essentials first. Build towards CPF Life payouts that meet core needs. Then layer on growth. Point 2. Time horizon drives the decision. Short-term goals, say 1 to 3 years, call for safety and liquidity. CPF and T-bills make sense here. For a 3-10-year window, go blended. Keep CPF for secure compounding and start a REIT sleeve for higher income. Beyond 10 years, REITs can raise total return and dividends if you can sit through volatility. Time is your shock absorber. The longer your runway, the better you can ride market swings without panic. Point 3. Opportunity cost by life stage. Under 55, a 4.0% SA rate plus extra interest is strong. The gap versus REITs in the mid to high 5% range is your premium for taking market risk. After 55, your RA is formed. Amounts not set aside for RA sit in OA at 2.5%. That widens the gap versus REITs. So younger investors should usually maximize SA first, then add REITs with surplus cash. Post 55, ensure RA covers essentials. Then consider a measured REIT sleeve for extra income. This is not a binary choice. It's sequencing and sizing. Point 4. T-bills are tactical tools in 2025, not core income engines. 6-month T-bill yields have fallen below 2% at recent auctions. T-bills still shine for cash parking, a 6-24-month ladder for expenses, and to stage entries into REITs. Think of T-bills as your grab rides between destinations. They get you there safely, but they're not your home. In 2025, their role is liquidity and timing, not long-term income. Quick pause for a plug. For more charts, deeper dives, and the full written breakdown, check our Substack. The link is in the description. I post the exact tables, step-by-step frameworks, and scenario math so you can apply this to your own plan. Point 5. Build a durable REIT sleeve the right way. We want yield, but we must dodge yield traps. Focus on quality and diversification. Prefer large, diversified landlords with strong sponsors. Check cost of debt, hedge ratios, refinancing windows, and interest coverage. Look for well-staggered lease expiries and controlled tenant concentration. Mixed sectors, retail, industrial, logistics, and selected data centers. Size positions so you can sleep well. A simple template: 40 to 60% core REITs, 20 to 30% growth REITs where fundamentals improve, 10 to 20% high-yield REITs sized modestly, and 10% cash or T-bills for dips. Your income accelerator is REITs. Your safety gear is balance sheets and diversification. Point 6, the post-55 decision map. At 55, your RA is formed. Here are the 3 levers. 1. Channel more to RA to lift CPF Life payouts and lock in base income. 2. Keep more in OA for flexibility, accepting 2.5% on that portion. 3. Build a REIT income sleeve with surplus funds once essentials are covered. A practical stack looks like this. Layer 1, CPF Life for core expenses. Layer 2, OA for near-term needs. Layer 3, T-bills and SGS for cash management and staging. Layer 4, REITs to raise income on top of a secured base. Keep it simple and robust. Point 7, a clear action plan by risk profile and age. If you're conservative, keep CPF priority high, use T-bills for buffers, and keep a small REIT sleeve. If you're moderate, blend CPF with 20-40% in REITs and ladder T-bills. If you're aggressive, take a larger REIT tilt, but keep a cash buffer and expect drawdowns. By age, under 35, maximize SA and start a REIT sleeve early to build habits. Ages 35-45, keep maxing SA and grow REITs to a balanced slice. Ages 45-55, tilt toward higher quality REITs and strong sponsors and keep buffers. Post 55, ensure RA covers essentials, then use REITs for extra income and keep a cash ladder. Important tax note for individuals: CPF interest is tax-free. Cash top-ups can be deductible up to annual limits if you meet conditions. For most individuals investing in a personal capacity, T-bill and SGS interest is tax-exempt. Most S-REIT distributions to individuals are also tax-exempt. Income may be taxable only if it is derived from a trade, business, or partnership. So for many retail investors, headline yields on T-bills, SGS, and REITs are effectively after-tax yields. Let me ask, does your current mix reflect your true time horizon and the 2025 yield landscape? Or is it based on last year's numbers? Markets changed. Your plan should adapt. Now, objections. What if rates rise again? Then T-bill and SGS yields climb and REITs may swing more. Your ladder gives you time and options. What if a slowdown hits? That's why we build CPF Life coverage and keep cash buffers. This turns drawdowns into opportunity, not damage. Iggy's personal take. In 2025, CPF is still the best risk-free return in town. It forms the spine of a Singapore income plan. But going CPF only for too long, even with a long horizon, can leave money on the table. A measured REIT sleeve, built on quality and sized well, can lift lifetime income. If I were under 55, I would maximize SA and extra interest first, then add a diversified REIT sleeve and keep a 6 to 12 month T-bill ladder. Post 55, I would secure essentials with RA and CPF Life, then size a REIT sleeve for surplus income with cash buffers. This way you get stable compounding plus higher income without betting the house on one outcome. To wrap up, here are the takeaways. CPF is your bedrock. T-bills are your shock absorbers. REITs are your accelerator. Time horizon and risk tolerance tell you how to mix them. If you follow this, you will get fewer nasty surprises and more steady progress. So, we've broken down CPF versus cash and REITs, and I've given you my personal take on how it applies to your journey here in Singapore. If you found this video helpful and want to seriously level up your investing game, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Investing Iguana channel so you don't miss our next insights. And for those who want to be truly ahead, our premium members gain exclusive early access to all our videos, often a full week before anyone else sees them. This means you get Iggy's detailed analyses and urgent insights on major market moves delivered to your inbox, giving you a significant head start. It's just $3 a month, about the price of a cup of coffee. Think of it as your daily dose of financial fuel delivered before the masses. Ready to join the inner circle and get that early edge? Click the link in the description to become a premium member today. For your next watch, check out our video on maximizing CPF top-ups versus SRS. Which should you do first? It pairs perfectly with today's topic and gives you a clean sequence to optimize tax relief and long-term returns.